Well, football fans, we are really getting close to the home stretch, aren't we? Seems like yesterday the season started, and now here it is. We are on our way to week 12. But first, let's take a look back at week 11, which started on a bad foot. I'm not talking about Pittsburgh losing to Cleveland. I'm talking about how that game ended. I mean, we pretty much had to talk about that proverbial elephant in the room, or the elephant in the football field. And what I saw was just hideous. It was a very hideous thing. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I mean, I'm watching this, and I see a helmet being swung and striking somebody's head. I'm like, is this really happening? Is this really happening? I didn't know how to react to that. I just couldn't believe it. Myles Garrett just ripped Mason Rudolph's helmet and was beating his head like he was using that helmet like it was a fucking club or something. And the sickening thing about this is, here's a guy, Mason Rudolph. He's coming off concussion. We all remember that hit. We all remember that hit from when they played Baltimore. That knocked him out. He was coming off concussion, and here he is getting hit in the head by this moron. And all hell broke loose. And the sad part about this is that action took away from the fact that the Cleveland Browns actually won against the Steelers, something that hadn't happened in 4 years. And that win pretty much kept them alive a little bit in the playoff race. And given that the Browns kind of have a soft schedule heading into, they kind of have a soft schedule heading in the end of the season, there's a good chance that they might get in. They'll need help, but they might get in. They're going to win. They should win a lot of games left. I mean, they still have 2 left against Cincinnati. So that's pretty much easy pickings right there. And and of course, for this Packers fan, it was I had to watch all the other NFC contenders because this was the Packers' bye, and the Niners escaped against Arizona. That was a pretty good close game. Niners been playing quite a few close games lately, and they've kind of had to survive the last 3 weeks. But they got a win coming off that, getting the first loss of their season that Monday night. And but before that, the Vikings. First off, in that regard, fuck you, Broncos. Seriously, how the hell do you go up 20 nothing and lose that game? Even worse than Minnesota. You know, this is the pain. I know I sound like a broken record. I've said this in the last 2 weeks worth of videos, but it has to be said. This is the pain of being in the NFC, because you can have a good record, but you got about 3-4 teams on your ass. Here we are trying to keep up with the Niners, and all of a sudden, Seattle has got 8 wins. New Orleans has 8 wins, and Minnesota's comeback gave them 8 wins. So we got all this traffic. It makes for a good race, but it makes for a good race from the perspective of the NFL fan. But for the perspective of Packers fans, it's a headache. I mean, 8-2 is not a safe record in the NFC like it is in the AFC. Because you won 8 games in the AFC, you don't have to worry about anybody on your ass. But we have Joneses to keep up with, and seeing Denver collapse like that just pissed me off. I would have been less angry at that game if Minnesota had just blown them out like I expected. Because if they had won like 55-10 or something like that, I would have went, well, that's expected. I mean, the Broncos suck, but no. They went up 20 nothing and gave us Packer fans hope that, damn, the Vikings are going to be knocked out of Pitt. And then they blew it. So that pissed a lot of Packer fans off. And to be honest, the Vikings are a team that shouldn't be 8-3 anyway, because they lost to a Chiefs team that didn't have Mahomes out there playing. They couldn't beat the Bears, who couldn't score on me. Dallas should have beat them. I mean, the game was at home. Dallas should have beat them. really, for all intents and purposes, that team should be 5-6, 5-6, 6-5. No worse, no better. But that team is 8-3 and right behind us in the division. Here we are trying to get home field, and the division is a toss-up. Now the Vikings are on a bye, but this week. But we have the game of our season, the game of the year, in Santa Clara against the 9-1 Niners, which is a losable game for either team. But worst case scenario, if we lose this game, not only will we pretty much be out of it for home field because we'll be 2 games behind the Niners with the head-to-head disadvantage, but we'll be tied with the Vikings. The only thing we'll have over them is that Week 2 victory. And that's the thing. We've done our part when it comes to the Vikings. Nobody else is. Vikings are not hard to beat. But speaking of Dallas got a big important win against Detroit. So notice I didn't mention Dallas as part of the Joneses that we have to keep up with because that ship has sailed. We beat Dallas, and the NFC East is a mess. Only one team's coming for that division, and that's the team that's going to win it. And Dallas is pretty much in the driver's seat at 6-4, and with the head-to-head win over Philly, so they've got that covered. And I mentioned the Bengals before. We have a playoff elimination this season. The first one of the year. The Bengals are officially eliminated. I know that doesn't mean anything because they weren't going to make it anyway, but I like things that are official. But yeah, it's pretty early. To me, it's hard to fathom. Any team being officially eliminated before Thanksgiving. But going 0-10 will do it for you. Oh boy. I think I said this before in another video. I really think they are going to complete the road to futility. I really do. And that's something I never thought I would see at all in my lifetime. I've seen it twice. The Lions in 2008 and the Browns 2 years ago, and the Bengals might join them. Before that, the only team that ever went winless was the Buccaneers in their inaugural season. I think it was 1976. That was their first season of existence. They went 0-14. Matter of fact, they lost their first 26 games of existence. And that record's still standing. But yeah, I really think the Bengals this year are going to be the third team in my lifetime to actually join the ranks of the futile. It's very sad. The only good thing is it'll be a number 1 draft pick, but the quarterback that's supposed to be the prize in the draft, he's out for the year. So what the hell are they losing for? Rams and Bears, that game was a mess. 17-7, a game that nobody really wanted to win. I said Dallas has a good lead. That's because New England beat the Eagles, so they're 9-1 also. It's basically New England and Baltimore for home field in the NFC. It's not a log AFC. I mean, there's no log jam in the AFC. The bye spots are going to go to New England and Baltimore. The question is, which one's going to get home field? And the interesting thing is, if they end tied, Baltimore has that tiebreaker. They beat them. They beat New England. And of course, Mexico City finally got the football game they were playing for. Chiefs and Chargers, pretty good game. Chiefs ended up winning. It was actually ended up being close to the original was because the Chiefs were running away. Then the Chargers kind of had that mini comeback. But I don't know what to say about Philip Rivers. People are saying he should hang it up. Maybe he should. I kind of feel for him a little bit. I mean, he throws 7 picks in 2 games, and both games on national television. I mean, that's kind of sad when your incompetence is shown to the entire world on a form like that in back-to-back weeks. But yeah, that loss pretty much all but doomed the Chargers. They're 4-7, and they have a big hole to dig out of. But anyway, that's my review of Week 11. Week 12 starts with Colts and Texans. Texans got blown out in Baltimore. My goodness. I really don't know which Houston team is going to come out. Especially as a fantasy owner, I have Deshaun Watson on my team, on one of my teams, and he had a terrible game. So who knows which Deshaun will appear this Thursday. So anyway, it's Colts and Texans that will start Week 12. The last buys go to Arizona, Kansas City, the Chargers, and Minnesota. Cowboys, Patriots, that's in Foxborough. And of course, the main event of Week 12 is the game I've been waiting for, the one I've been very excited for, Niners, Packers at Santa Clara on NBC, on Sunday Night Football on NBC. And the Monday night game is Ravens and Rams. Rams are still have hope. They still have hope. So that's what we have to look forward to at Week 12. So with that, I will say enjoy this this home stretch we're kind of on, and I'll review Week 12 next week, and I'll have a preview. I have a review of the division finals in the Canadian League up very soon. So I bid you a pleasant good afternoon, football fans.